Hello again. We're going to look today at what you can get for £16. Hey up, it's Tomo again. I'm back with another video where I've got another cheap PC. So this time I have spent a whopping 16 quid. Let's take a look. We've got a Dell Optiplex FX160. Really nice little machine. It's very small. Yeah, that's why I said it's a little machine. Lots of connectivity on the back. Uses a standard kettle lead. We've got a mouse and keyboard, PS2. We've got 4 USB ports on the back, a network port, DVI, VGA, and a serial RS232 port. On the front, you've already seen, we've got a power switch, we've got microphone, headphones, and 2 more USB ports. Let's get this bad boy open. So the top just slides off when you have removed a couple of screws off the back. And what you are presented with is a proprietary form factor, which consists of where do I start? So we've got PCI Express here, micro PCI Express or whatever it's called. Now in the BIOS, the ability to use graphics cards or storage has been completely removed. The only thing you can use in here is a Wi-Fi networking card, which is a real shame. Here we have a 1 GB flash drive which has an SATA connection and power. You can actually remove that and you can get a cable, and you can add a standard SATA drive in there, so you could stick a hard drive in. There is also the same here. We've got well, not really the same, but we've got an SATA or SATA, as most of you like to call it. I don't know why I'm saying SATA. Another SATA port there, which you could add another hard drive to. Any SATA hard drive will run. You might struggle to get it some power, but I'm sure somewhere on here. Let me have a look. There is a SATA power point there, so you'd need a cable to convert to your usual SATA power supply thing that goes on the back of a hard drive. So this unit came with the Atom processor, which is 1.6 gigahertz, very slow, but it is hyper-threaded, so you've got an effective 2 cores for hyper-thread enabled programs. It only uses 4 watts of power when it's on a standard load, which is fantastic. We got 2 gigs of DDR2 in the unit there. There's also another 45-degree angled socket or slot for some more RAM. You can actually upgrade this to 4 gig, so you can give it a bit more juice. And what you will notice on the unit is it is completely fanless. So the power supply is completely silent, just a 4-pin connector there onto the motherboard. And there is a heatsink, heat pipe, and sort of other radiator thing for the processor. And we've got a heatsink on the other stuff, which I can't be bothered taking that off, but you know what's under there, the boring stuff, the chipset, the North Bridge or the South Bridge, whatever you want to call it, and a little piddly heatsink here too. So all good, some good connectivity here. Just remember, this was £16, which is less than a Raspberry Pi. Not a Raspberry Pi Zero, but the full-on Raspberry Pi. And this, let me just show you the case again. It's got air vents all over it, which is fantastic, as you could repurpose this case for other projects if you so wish. Yeah, so first video today on this PC is going to be an installation of Puppy Linux, just so we can see what we can get out of the hardware. Now, because I don't want to put a hard drive in this yet, I want to start right from the bottom. So I want to start with this, which is a 2 GB USB thumb drive. Now, not a great deal of storage there, but someone gave it to me for free, and I thought, what the heck am I going to do with that? So this is what I'm going to do with it. So I'll just jump cut with a click of my fingers. Okay, so one of the first things you are going to need to do is download a very small distribution of Linux, which is going to be Puppy Linux. Now, the one that I chose to use is the Ubuntu Tar, or Tar, whatever it is. It's very small. Use the mirror for the 32-bit version if you are going to do this yourself. It's a very small operating system. You will also need to download Linux Live USB Creator, which is very straightforward. All you need to do is download it, install it, open it up. I'm trusting that you'll be able to do this yourself without my assistance. Okay, so when you open up Linux Live USB Creator, I'll move it over here so you can see it. You would select the USB drive that you have plugged into a spare USB port on your PC. You would then click on ISO/img/zip. You would select the item that you have just downloaded, which is the Tar Puppy Linux, and you would leave that at live mode and uncheck all of these 3 options here. You might need to select the middle one if you've not got a formatted USB thumb drive. Once you've done that, you click the lightning there, and that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust the resolution on my monitor so that it is displayed correctly, because at the moment the resolution's wrong. So I'm just going to do that now, and click OK, and now we have the correct resolution. You get a choice here if you want to keep that as a permanent change or if you just want it for the session. So quite useful if you are carrying your operating system around with you and you want to use it on different monitors or televisions, and you want to use different resolutions. Very handy. So we'll just take a look around and see what we've got. There's quite a lot of geeky stuff, I would probably describe it as, for Puppy Linux. I mean, the idea of me using it on this PC was just putting something on here that will actually run, because clearly a 1.6 GHz processor isn't going to be any good for gaming. So we'll take a look at the hardware info and see what this PC's got. So it's actually, didn't realise this, but it's a hyper-threaded processor, so it's effectively, I'm getting the performance of dual core, which is nice. When I bought the computer, it wasn't listed as that, but it has got that in there, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's actually twice the speed of what I expected. So we've got 2 GB of RAM in there. Don't really need to look at any of this. Oh, we'll look at the audio adapter. So SIS966, part of the chipset, of course. Very good. So we've got decent audio on there. What else have we got? All of this probably means something to a lot of you guys, but I'm not that good with Linux. I can just about install it. So I'll just click through these. And if there's anything you want to look at, then feel free to hit pause. It's really snappy actually to say it's running off a USB memory stick with only 2 GB storage. So there it is, the processor again, with the 2 effective cores because of the hyper-threading. There's the RAM. A lot of stuff on here that's really quite interesting. PCI devices, so we've got SIS chipset on here, which of course gives us a load of this stuff, whatever it is. I do know what it is, but we've got Broadcom Ethernet controller there. I'll have to have a look, see what speed that is, and maybe put it in the comments later on. USB devices, we've got a flash drive, 4-port hub. That's all the ports on the back by the looks of things. And we've got a 1.1 root hub, of course. No batteries, no sensors. A load of input devices, storage. So there's an internal 1 GB flash drive on this PC. I could install Puppy Linux on there, but there's not really much point, because on the memory stick, which I incidentally got for free, there's 2 GB of storage, and the operating system only takes up about 300 megabytes of that, so I've actually got more. Admittedly, the flash drive would probably be quicker, but that's not really what I've put it on there for. So we've got the date, the BIOS there, 21st of May 2010, or the 5th of the 21st month for those of us who also live in the UK. No idea what that is. And then I've got a load of other stuff here. I'm not really sure what we can do with that. We could try some benchmarks. So we'll have a look at whatever that was. CPU blowfish. Please do not move your mouse or press any keys. This is serious benchmarking. I've just got my hand on the top of the base unit to see if there are any issues, and there aren't. So we've got some results here. Didn't generate much heat. Remember, there's no fan in this whatsoever. So if we look at the results there, we're about on par with AMD. Oh no, actually we've scored 18.37. So the higher the score, the better, seemingly. These don't seem to make sense though. Right, so lower is better. Yeah, don't really understand that. These don't make much sense whatsoever. The scores versus the graph that it's showing. So being beaten by a quad core, obviously, but we're quicker than some processors that I didn't really expect. So we're quicker than a Pentium M at 1.7 gigahertz. It's pretty obvious that's going to be the case. Pentium 4, 2.4 gigahertz. So we could get away with playing some games on this potentially, but there's absolutely no way I'm putting hard drive in this and trying to install Windows. But I might do it later on. Let's do another bit of benchmarking, see what happens. So this is crypto hash. Higher is better. So yeah, we're seeing similar results there. I'm not going to bother with any more of that because it's boring. Oh, those puppies are lovely. So let's have a look. Can we go on the internet? If I click on the browser, I'd imagine there is a lot of missing items from this. So Pale Moon, yeah, we'll make it our default. So we've got the start page there. Right, let's try YouTube. See what we find. Oh dear, our browser is no longer supported. So you know what that means, don't you? It means we're going to have to install some packages. So let's see what we can get away with installing. Goodness knows where this is, but I'll try and find it in here. So we'll try the Puppy Package Manager, see what's available to us. Oh dear, entries may take a while to load. Ah, well it didn't really, did it? So we've got access to the Ubuntu Trusty Universe. Ubuntu Trusty Main, and Ubuntu Trusty Multiverse. Now we've of course got the puppy stuff and the puppy no arch. Someone put in the comments what that means, because I don't know. So we'll have a look in the Trusty universe. I think we should get a decent internet browser installed. And of course we would be stupid not to go for Chromium browser. I think we'll get the codecs as well and the Chrome driver. And then I think we will also give GIMP a try. So in graphics, scroll down 2G, and somewhere we should see GIMP available. I think that's it. It looks like it is. Or is it? No, I'm not sure. I'm going to remove that. What we'll do instead, we will install an Office suite. So I'm going to try and install LibreOffice. Right, okay, in the end I just went to the top and searched for Office and found LibreOffice. So we're going to install Chromium and LibreOffice, and as you can see down here, we need 400 megabytes of space to install, and we've got 913 megabytes available, so we're going to be able to do that. So I'll just click do it, and with a snap of my fingers all this stuff will be installed. Bad news, I'm afraid. Nothing installed correctly. Nothing at all. So I can't even go on YouTube. It's really not good. To get the Linux distribution down to the size that it is, there's a lot of stuff missing. So what I'm gonna do with this PC, I'm not giving up on it just yet, because the hardware is a little bit better than I expected. I didn't expect it to be multi-threaded, the processor, so very, very pleased with that. That's my bad, because I just hadn't read up on the processor. Not the end of the world. We've got a PC here that currently runs off a memory stick, and we have some very basic functionality. We can look at very basic websites, we can manage files, we've got a few useful apps. We've got AbiWord, for example, the word processor, that will work. So it's not the most feature-rich word processor, but if you wanted to give your kids a cheap PC to learn how to type on, it's probably perfect. We can probably install something like R and do some statistical programming on here. Not going to do that though, because I really can't be bothered. It just feels like I've not really tested this machine to its ability. Puppy Linux was not that good. It's a real shame, because I was quite excited at what I'd be able to do. I thought I'd be able to get LibreOffice on there, GIMP, and the latest version of Chromium. Admittedly, I could put something like Linux Mint on a USB drive and install that, or I could even put a hard drive or two in here, given that there is space for two. Well, not necessarily space. I'd probably have to mount them somehow to the edge of the case. But I think I've got value for money. But this is not the last video for this beast. What should I do next? You need to tell me in the comments. Do I install Windows 10? I originally didn't think that would be a good idea, but given that this has hyper-threading, I think it might just handle it. And is there an alternative Linux distribution you think I should try? Maybe actually installing it rather than running it from a stick. And let me know what you think about what else this could be used for. Digital signage is a good one. Digital signage where a company doesn't want to spend too much on electricity. because this will absolutely output at full HD from the VGA port or the DVI port or both at once, and the processor is more than capable of displaying some fairly low resolution footage, video footage or images or PowerPoint presentations. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and if you've not yet hit subscribe, then please do so. Cheerio!